30 million children rely on the pandemic-era free school lunch program that expires in June. So this is a perfect example of...
I mean, obesity can't be an epidemic and also our kids are starving. Like,
Okay,
come on.
I don't know if you're purposely being a troll again, but...
What? I'm literally... Oh my God,
you're
this
making
happens all the
really
time.
stupid
I say
points.
reality, and then you're like, I refuse your reality.
No,
and
it's
you're
not
a troll.
reality. It's that obesity can be a problem, but guess what? A Republican Senate candidate endorsed by Peter Thiel is campaigning on a pledge to vote only for judges who oppose the SCOTUS ruling establishing the right to birth control. This guy is denying this. He's saying, no, this is wrong. That's not true. He said, I don't support a state law or federal law that would ban or restrict contraception. But he's also saying that that decision was wrongly decided. Even though that decision, the Griswold case, was decided in 1965, it overturned a statewide ban on birth control and protected citizens' rights to privacy against state restrictions on contraceptives. On his website, he says he's 100% pro-life. He also goes on to pledge he also goes on to pledge that he will vote only for federal judges who understand that Roe and Griswold and Casey were wrongly decided. So you're fine with contraceptives, but you want to overturn the ruling which ensured that people had a right to privacy regarding contraceptives? Once again, these dipshits are super pro-life, so much so that they actually want there to be more abortions. It's really crazy. It's insane how that works. You know? They're so pro-life, yet they don't want to also allow people access to contraceptives, which would lower the rate of abortion. Okay, this is like somebody who is out on the road screaming about how bad car accidents are, and then simultaneously advocating to get rid of green lights and red lights. Down with stop signs! Down with lights! We don't need traffic lights! Get rid of all of them! Oh, but car accidents are so bad! You are not allowed, literally not allowed, okay? I'm taking away your freedom of speech right here, right now. First Amendment is revoked, bitch. You're not allowed to preach against abortion and pearl clutch about how much you are so against Roe v. Wade and ooh, woo, wah, wah, while simultaneously being against the solution to the problem. Wow, you're so wrong. What a horrible metaphor. Okay, come on, Charmhole, let's go. Yes, it is. I just want to make sure you're not going to start, like, screaming the N-word.
Would ever do that? Oh my God. I've never done that on record ever, and it's weird that people always say that I will.
Well, no, it's just that you're a troll, so it's guys, is the audio bounce enough? Testing.
Yeah, I'm a troll. Well, see, the thing about being a troll is that you have to be, in order to be a troll, you have to be smart enough to know both sides, right? Like, you have to.
I don't really
be
care if
smart
you're a
enough.
troll or not. I care about you saying that my metaphor is bad when it's
Yeah, the
perfectly
whole
comparable.
like what I thought you were gonna say. No, you should have said like seat belts, but instead you're like getting rid of all green and red lights, and it's like, okay, chill. Like,
how is that
say,
not a wait? How is that
Get rid
not
of-
comparable? If you're arguing against something while also arguing against a solution to that thing.
Okay. Well, first off, I just want to say that a lot of people say that, oh, you just want to have less abortions so more babies pop out, and then you forget about the child, and it's like that's not true at all. Conservatives love buying kids. They love adoption. Like, and I say that, and I really mean that. I live in the heart of America, and I've seen plenty of women get pregnant, and other women beg them to take the child to term and give it up for adoption, so then they will then buy the child. And
Okay,
and like,
I
literally
think that saying "buy the child" is a little not quite correct, but there's
It's what they're doing.
There's a couple different things here. Okay, so first and foremost, this has nothing to do with whether or not my analogy was correct. So far, I'm hearing that my analogy actually does hold up.
Okay.
Second of all, I don't care as much about your anecdotal evidence, because when people say that, they're usually referring to the fact that conservatives tend to be against a public option for healthcare, which would, again, benefit people who are pregnant, it would benefit children, and it would benefit the abortion rate in the sense of lowering it, because people would have more universal access to contraceptives.
Now I do believe that's true. I think you are right there. Yeah, like I think that it's really strange. Well, okay, so there's a massive kind of schizophrenia when it comes to American healthcare, and that we think that because we go into debt for getting the healthcare, that we don't have the healthcare. We still have access to the healthcare, right? I've gotten plenty of healthcare, and they want thousands of dollars from me that they will never get.
That's
I
the
already
problem.
got the healthcare,
That's
though,
the problem
right?
right there, is that we have to pay
Well,
for it, and some people cannot afford it. Some people are not insured. There are
yeah,
issues there
me.
across the
I'm not
board.
insured. Yeah, fuck being insured. It's a insurance is just privatized taxation. It's a total scam.
That's really
So
cool. But again, if we're talking about a public option, that would provide more access to contraceptives across the whole country, which would, again, lower the abortion rate. And Republicans generally seem to be against that. So I think you're right that it would probably be too reductionist to say all Republicans only care about birth and nothing else. But at the same time, I mean, a lot of conservatives are not in favor of buffing up schools. They're not in favor of school lunches, even. Like, there's a lot of different ways that children could benefit in this world that Republicans seem to be against
I how are they against it?
because they aren't. Wait, because they're not in favor of those things. They vote against it. They call it socialism.
What? They're the ones in charge of all of our like public and charter schools. Like, you think that they just like you think they exist like in a void or something? Like, no. Like again, I live in the heart of America. I've seen plenty of conservatives. I've watched Ohio go from blue to red.
That's
Right?
cool.
I've
Mitch
seen this happen
McConnell
in
is
real
reportedly
time.
opposing free school lunches from March 8th, 2022. Kids are going to have less on their plates, Biden's agriculture secretary says. The Washington Post reported Mitch McConnell is opposing a free school lunch program extension. 30 million children rely on the pandemic era free school lunch program that expires in June. So, this is a perfect example
I
of,
mean, obesity can't be an epidemic and also our kids are starving. Like, come
okay, I
on.
don't know if you're purposely being a troll again, but
What? I'm literally, oh my God,
you're
this happens
making
all the time.
really
I
stupid
say
points.
reality, and then you're like, I refuse your
No, no,
reality,
no.
and
It's
you're
not
a troll.
reality. It's that
Like,
obesity can be a problem. But guess what? The free lunch issue and obesity are actually a problem, one of the same. Because the reason
mm,
the obesity rate is the way that it is, and it's also higher amongst people that tend to be a little bit lower socioeconomic status, is because it's cheaper to buy gross, greasy, fattening foods than it is to shop. Similarly, you have kids that need free lunches because maybe they can't afford it, maybe they didn't have time to make one. Either way, this is something that would provide for children, and Republicans are against it. Why? It seems as though Republicans are all about birth, but once the kid pops out, you're on your own, motherfucker.
that is 100% not true.
Okay, well, I've
And
given a
like
couple
in this,
examples, and you
and
haven't,
that,
so.
like that entire like if you try telling conservative parents that they don't care about their children, you're gonna get beat.
No, no, no. I don't. I
Like,
think they care about
like
their children,
it's
but
so
Republicans
weird. Like
generally don't seem to be interested in
liberals
bettering the
and
society
conservatives,
for kids that are born.
okay, look, liberals and conservatives, everybody in America wants to sell some garbage to their neighbors' children. Okay, every single fucking one of them. You can't
You're
just
talking about
like
like
throw your hands
McDonald's.
up and be like, oh, it's only conservatives doing bad capitalism in
I
America.
mean,
Like, come
wait,
on,
hold on.
this holier than thou
Democrats are
shit is blowing
generally
my
more
mind.
in. Okay, I'm not saying every single Republican hates kids and every Democrat is just a wonderful little fairy on rainbows, okay? What
Yeah,
I'm saying is that generally the way that Republicans vote, as opposed to the way that Democrats vote, seem to bear that out. It seems as though, like what I just read, Republicans are against the free lunch, for example, whereas Democrats are more in favor of these things.
well, in
Democrats tend to be
Kentucky,
more in favor of social safety nets, as am I as a social democrat, which benefits everybody, including children that are born.
what? Yeah, feed the children. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Are
good,
you being
good job.
sarcastic or are you actually serious?
Well, look, I'm absolutely for access to food for children, right? Like, yeah, and if they were getting more access because of COVID, right? The entire reason why they were was because their normal access to food was denied, so they had to have a new access for food. So now it seems like they're trying to take They're trying, like, you are literally trying to spin this as he's stealing food from children. How could all conservatives care
That's not
about
what I said
children?
at all.
For like, no, you literally said that this is why conservatives don't care about
It's an example.
postnatal children.
It's
Like,
an example.
yeah, well,
You
it's a very
said that
poor
conservatives
example, just like your
generally
poor
care about
metaphor.
kids, you know? And what I'm showing you is that the way that they vote doesn't seem to suggest that. Second of all, here you go, okay?
Yeah.
Why are obesity rates higher in poor areas? It's because low-income communities are more likely to have reduced access to resources, lower food quality and food insecurity, and poor living conditions. And also, a higher percentage of poverty was associated with higher obesity rates.
Well,
So,
that's just, yeah, but that just proves that if they're fat, they're not starving. So clearly, even if it's not the highest quality food, they're still getting food. Like,
yeah, but you said as a rebuttal to the free lunch thing, how can we have an issue with free lunches if kids are also fat? And what I'm
right.
saying is that kids are fat and obese because they are poorer and have access to less quality food and more fattening food.
But they
Second of all,
still have
people who are
quality, but they
poorer
still
also
have
need
food.
access to school lunches, for example. These are literally issues that are like they're the same issue. We could fix this by just fixing poverty.
You can't fix poverty in a
So
democracy underlined with capitalism. You
I don't know
can't.
if you're
It
just
runs on poverty.
okay,
It
that's
requires
so cute.
poverty.
You're really funny and smart. I'm honestly surprised. But again, let's go back to the original point as to why we're here to even argue. How is my
1 billion
argument,
Americans.
how is my argument not comparable with
Okay,
red lights?
because okay, so let's take the metaphor and let's really delve into it, right? You're saying that Republicans want to take out the red and green lights, essentially saying chaos, right? No, what they're saying is they want women to have children so they can own their children. And I know you're like, oh, they don't want to buy the children. Buying sounds a little too harsh. It's literally what it is.
Who's
It's just more
buying kids?
capitalism, chill. So to increase, to like push it into your metaphor and try to like mix it up, I would say it's more like conservatives trying to say like uh, that your car sitting in the garage that's not getting any miles. Hey, give it to me. Give your cash for clunkers to me. I will buy your car, grind it up, use it, like whatever. I will do whatever with it, right? And like use that asset, right? Conservatives know that children are energy. Like children are worth.
Are you
Okay, they're
against are
very
you
worth.
on the
They're
conservative side?
I'm on whatever side I have to be because I'm a
I
gamer. All right.
genuinely don't think that this is what most conservatives believe. I think that they think there's some kind of value and tradition in families existing and giving birth and
Yeah.
whatnot. But the point that I'm
You can be
making,
both.
again, is that when you restrict contraceptives, you lead to more abortion. That is empirically demonstrated. So when we have conservatives running on overturning court rulings which guarantee the right to privacy in regards to contraceptives, or you have Missouri and other states that have trigger laws that would classify any form of contraception as an abortion, like a Plan B pill, then yeah, we have a fucking problem at this point because they are against abortion and now they're against the solution.
Our maternal health rates are already, have been in a decline with Roe v. Wade for years now. Mothers have been dying in the hospital giving birth. Children have been dying giving birth, right, or being born, right? Like our system is broken. And the Roe v. Wade thing, first off, the whole like, oh, people will get more abortions if there's less contraceptives. That shit happened like 3 generations ago, right? We're talking about when boomers were fucking teenagers. That's when Roe v. Wade was before Roe v. Wade, right? That was a long ass time ago. I'm sorry, but times have changed. And if you want to talk about fucking fertility rates, holy shit, COVID stopped so many
What does
people from
any of this have
fucking.
to do with it?
Like,
What
what
is
do you
it?
mean? What does fucking have to do
What
with
are you
fucking?
talking about? No, what are you
What?
talking about with like maternal deaths and whatnot? What does this have to do with what I said about contraceptives?
Okay, so you're saying that contraceptives, access to them leads to fewer abortions, right? I mean, I
Yes.
think that just kind of makes sense.
Yes.
Obviously, if you're not pregnant, you don't have the choice to get an abortion, right?
Right. Yes. That's called being
Okay,
proactive instead of reactive.
so a whole bunch of Americans being afraid to touch each other because they're wearing masks and they don't want to get sick from COVID, right? I'd say that's a pretty darn good contraceptive, just on the whole. So I would say that overall, I bet you'll find that the past 2 years, fertility rates have declined. I don't
I mean,
think
I'm seeing
the
a stat right
numbers
here
are out
showing
yet.
that maternal deaths have dropped significantly since abortion was legalized, starting in the year of 1989 when abortion was legalized in this area, as opposed to 2005. It more or less
And they've only
plummeted.
been rising since. And they've only been rising since.
Maternal deaths? I think that maternal deaths are still pretty rare, but they're going to be higher if we keep restricting abortion, of course. So,
Right, but and I've seen this all the time. Whenever they restrict abortion, Planned Parenthood, well, like these Planned Parenthood like knockoffs, right? It'll be something called like Emily's Gift or something like that, and it'll be a building right next to Planned Parenthood. And what they do is they sit out there and they farm women. They're like, hey, just want to make sure, just want to let you know, there's an option. Give us your baby. Don't give them your like.
no,
Don't
they're
give them
talking
your
about giving a
baby
baby up for
force.
adoption.
Yes, for them, like they're in the business of it, right?
Wait,
They're in the
wait. Hold on.
automobile
What the fuck are you?
business.
You
like
think that
tried to say.
adoption agencies are interested in adopting children because they just want to own kids?
Yes.
Okay, so
Coney
I don't know
Barrett.
how to help you out anymore at this point
Amy-
because you are actually fucking deranged. Also,
Okay,
you're not making any argument
Good
against what
one.
I said. Again, you're just like telling me stories. I don't give a shit if there's some random Emily's Gift next to Planned Parenthood, blah, 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 blah. Make a fucking point. Are you against providing contraceptives or not? Yes or no?
No,
Okay,
not really.
but Republicans are in some states.
In some states,
So
most
my
likely
point
because they want more
stands.
children,
So my point
right?
stands.
You have to agree that if they want less contraceptive, they want more children, right?
I mean, yeah, but don't you realize that also
Okay.
translates to them not caring about the kids? Because then you're
How?
going to because then you're going to
you
have
can't make this argument. That doesn't make any fucking
Yes, I can,
sense.
because if you force people to give birth, even when they don't want to have children, if they don't have the financial means necessary for it, the child will be raised in a worse outcome, in a worse situation, in a poor
Even if-
socioeconomic situation.
You-
That is
you
bad
can't
for the
tell
kid.
me- You can't tell me that people who are also vying for the children to be born because they want more kids in their state and in their county, that as soon as they're born, they're just going to completely forget about them. No,
Not
they're going to be
completely
like,
forget
that
about
kid's
them,
gonna
but
be
they're
a voter
probably
in
going to deny
18
them
years.
the school lunches. They aren't in favor of stronger Medicaid or
Yeah.
social safety nets,
Okay.
anything that would actually benefit that child's life. Again, now we're talking about banning contraceptives and abortion so that any woman who gets pregnant must give birth. That is only going to lead to worse outcomes for those children.
That kid, as soon as they turn 18, becomes a viable person for the military to join the fucking military. You think they don't give a shit about this? You think that conservatives are just so fucking brain-holed that they don't care?
I mean,
about
you're
how
kind of
many
proving that they
people
are right
they
now.
have in their state to allow them to have a bigger National Guard than the other guys. Like,
How are they going to
this
get
is-
there if that child's obese because he's super poor and doesn't have access to proper food? How are they going to get there if that kid doesn't have access to proper medical care when he gets hurt? There are all kinds of issues. And again, conservatives are...
They have access. They don't have the money to pay after they've had access.
Ah, yes,
You have
that makes
to
it
admit
so
that
much
we
better.
have access.
Yep. Yeah, just
But
like,
you have to
I
admit that we have access.
I mean, I have
Kids
access to a
aren't
restaurant.
dying.
I can go into McDonald's all day long, but I just don't have the money to purchase food. You're being a fucking moron again. Okay.
Wow.
So
you're
again,
being incredibly
conservatives, I'm incredibly rude to incredibly dumb people. Congratulations, you've earned it.
rude.
So
Oh,
again,
yeah.
conservatives
I think I'm
are
willing
against
to learn here. You're not
conservatives
really-
are against contraceptives and abortion and buffing up social safety nets. So they want children to be born while simultaneously they don't want to offer any additional state resources to helping that child live a better life as they're growing up.
I don't think they think comfortable life equals better life. I think that they want these children to have a form of survivability that makes them tougher. So then, they'll do extracurricular activities like going into football and then, or what have you.
To be
So then that
starving
states
or have poor access to medical care or have issues with the way that you're raised in your neighborhood in order to desire to play on the football team. Like, it sounds like you're just jumping through hoops to defend and justify all the obviously bad conservative policies.
bad conservative policies. Okay, again, I think you're saying bad capitalist policies, but then just like somehow every single liberal in this country, every single Democrat is just absolutely absolved of this burden.
Wait,
and it's
first
all
of all,
on the conservatives
capitalism has
because they want more children.
First of all,
they
capitalism
they want
results
more Americans. They are literally saying that they will They will take away women's right to choose in order to have more babies, but then also just completely forget about their own
Yes.
work to have more babies. That
Yes,
doesn't
that's
make any
what they
sense.
do. Believe it or
But
not,
that doesn't. Okay,
conservatives are
then prove it.
irrational.
Then prove it.
I
You're like, oh,
just
Mitch
did.
McConnell wants to take away COVID benefits. That's not fucking proving it.
Free
Like, that's
school
not.
lunches.
That's
That
not.
is
That's
something that is
the
going
one
to harm
example. And then your
children.
other example is that they want to take away red lights and green lights. That's also absolutely not what they're doing.
Okay,
I've
so first and
seen it.
foremost, when you keep bringing up capitalism, like capitalism, I think, is a
Yeah.
very efficient way of distributing resources. There are absolutely issues with capitalism at times, but those are not things that we cannot fix with more restrictions and better social safety nets. So one, capitalism has actually resulted in a lot of people getting out of poverty, not in poverty. And second of all, you can look at the Nordic countries where you'll see they have capitalism, but they also have stronger social safety nets, and they overall have better well-being and better
Look at
economic mobility.
Look at these pure white countries. Look how
Oh,
beautiful
yeah,
and
it's probably
wonderful
because of
they
white
are. Yeah,
people. See, you have to
okay.
just jump to the
No,
next
it's because of
dipshit point.
snow. I
No.
was saying pure white snow. Chill. I
Uh-huh,
was saying
right.
pure white
Okay. It has
snow.
nothing to do with there being white
Chill.
people or not. It has everything to do with the fact that
Yeah.
they have better social safety nets, which is what I am in favor of, that Republicans are
Yeah.
against. You tell me to give
Yeah.
you evidence. I just read you the thing from Mitch McConnell, which is a perfect example of how Republicans don't seem to be in favor of a lot of policies that would benefit children after they're born. That is directly analogous to what I said with the red lights. You're arguing or protesting an issue, and you're also protesting the solution to the issue.
Could you give me any other examples than Mitch McConnell being an old curmudgeon?
Do you want me to just start looking up random shit for you? Sure, yeah. Let's go ahead and find out what else they're
I
against.
mean, well, it doesn't make sense to me, especially when I've seen it, right? I've seen conservative families, institutions, all of these people go out and say, like, yes, I want more children. Amy Coney Barrett literally bought black children from Haiti, and every single Democrat during her hearing said, Amy, I just want to congratulate you on such a big, beautiful family you have. She's got 5 kids, 2 of them are fucking adopted.
That's really
okay?
cool. So anyway,
I just wanted to give you an
39
example of a conservative going above and beyond in order to maintain life after birth, possibly an unwanted birth, since they were both adopted.
That's great.
Right?
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm
Okay.
talking about children born in America.
Oh.
So last
Oh.
Thursday, this is from a
Okay.
couple months ago now, 9 months ago, 39 million American parents began receiving a monthly child allowance. It's the biggest helping hand to American families in more than 85 years. Keep in mind that this also lowered the overall rate of child hunger, okay? But every single Republican in both House and Senate voted against the measure. What more do I need to give you? What more evidence do I need to provide to you that Republicans do not give a single fuck about anybody once they're born? You're just up here denying reality at this point.
So why did they vote against it?
I don't know, and I don't care. The truth of the matter is that they are not willing to vote on something that would benefit families.
This is the worst. This is the worst example. First off, get ad block, get U block, please. I'm tired of looking at it.
Can you please turn off my stream in the background because it's echoing, or at least mute it?
Oh yeah, let me turn it down even more. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, my mic's very sensitive. First off, get U block. Second, again, yeah, you don't care. All you want to say is like, oh, some Republicans voted a certain way.
All of them did.
Okay, well, I'm talking
all
about
of
the
them
American
did.
people.
Not
I'm talking
some.
about conservatives in real life.
Okay, believe it or not, I know. I don't know. Listen, I don't know
why.
I don't know if you're living in the Matrix or something, but over here, conservatives in the House and the Senate are part of real life. And when they vote against a measure that has now been demonstrated to lower the overall rate of childhood hunger, then yeah, I'd say that looks pretty fucking bad. Especially if the argument is conservatives don't really seem to care about children once kids are actually born. So far, this is borne out in the way that they vote.
If you've looked at the way that they treat children like fucking chattel in the sports industry, right? Then you're fucking wrong. If you have any idea of how human fucking husbandry works in the football league and the National Football League, you would say that you're like, oh wait, never mind. They actually do care. They very much give a shit about children, especially once they hit 18, voting joining the military and playing professional fucking football. All right,
That's not caring about a
like
child.
this is
That's
so
not good
strange to
enough.
me. It's the
Saying,
worst
oh, they
fucking
cared
argument
about them
ever.
being the football star is fucking delusion and useless. I'm
Who's
talking
the
about
football
caring about
star?
the child when they're actually young, born, and need something right then and there. Okay? I don't think that saying, little Timmy, oh,
Bless
you
me.
got to be the football star thanks to the Republicans. Sorry that your entire childhood was full of hunger, starvation, and desperation. That's not good enough, dude.
Oh my god, this is so old. 2017.
Yep,
Yeah,
because
but
I
look,
just pulled something up from only 9 months ago and something from only last month. So some House Republicans believe that Congress should cut Americans off government anti-poverty programs in part to help grow the national economy.
yeah,
So,
go to work.
so
Go like
listen,
create your
I
own
get,
business.
I
That's what
understand
they
that your
want.
shtick is like say the most brain dead things imaginable to get me mad, but it's not really
Mm,
working. It's more just sad that there are people like you that even
good one.
exist. So
Oh, the rational American who attempts to take like all of the information he possibly can instead of calling my debate opponent a
really,
fucking
taking all
idiot.
the information you possibly can?
Yeah,
Why have
no,
you not
yeah,
provided
you
any
keep calling me a
information this
fucking
entire
moron.
Wait, why have
Like,
you not provided any information this entire conversation then?
oh, I'm sorry. You want me to go to Google and let Google tell me everything? Hey
Is
Google,
this Google telling
could you please tell me everything I need to know?
is
Like,
this
fuck off.
Google telling me something? Or is this an
Yeah, well,
actual news source reporting on
well, I
what the
don't think
government
it's
is
Bing
doing?
or DuckDuckGo. Oh, right. Bezos owned Washington Post
Do
is
you want me to
telling
go
me
read from a
about
different
this.
source? I mean, I don't know
Like,
what you want to hear
I
right
don't
now.
care.
You
No, I
asked,
don't care
I
about your
know you don't
sources,
because you
although
ask
I will
for
still
evidence. So
take
when
your
I provide
sources
it, you
and I
whine
will
like a
attempt to
little
go from them.
bitch.
Yes, Republicans are anti-welfare, and the reason is because they want you to work for the money. They
Okay.
want you to be owned by somebody else, right? This is the essence of capitalism,
I mean,
right?
you're
Is the
getting owned in this
hierarchical fucking
conversation.
command. Like,
You're getting owned in this conversation.
okay,
Maybe I'm
hey,
the
look,
Republican. No,
you got a bigger chat than me, so you're right.
it's not about
You're
chat.
right.
I don't care who has the bigger chat. It's the fact that you are not providing evidence. Now I'm the one providing evidence and you're whining about it
I
because I
literally
looked
just
it
said,
up.
I just know. Oh, hey, if you want to look up my evidence, you'll have to. Because again, when I said Amy Coney Barrett literally bought children from Haiti, right? I gave you direct evidence of a conservative, right,
One single
taking
conservative
care
doesn't
of a
matter.
child,
That
two
doesn't
children,
matter.
after not being aborted.
Okay, that doesn't matter. I'm
How?
not saying one
How?
individual. I'm not, because my argument is not all individual Republicans don't care about their own children. My argument is that when Republican legislatures vote
Mhm.
to get rid of abortion and
Mhm.
simultaneously vote against things that would better the increase of children that will be inevitably born from the ban on abortion, it's inconsistent. They vote against those things while also voting to cut abortion. I'm not saying every conservative you pass on the street, they actually hate kids. That's not my argument. You know that's not my argument. You're being intentionally obtuse or you're actually just dumb.
Rude. Yeah, and I'm saying that, like you just agreed, Republican legislators don't reflect most conservative actual values and actions. So you just disproved your own
No, I didn't.
sources that you posted.
No, I
No, because both
didn't.
your sources were look. All three of your sources so far are just look at how Republican legislators vote hypocritically sometimes. Whoa, holy shit, you got me. Let me put my
Yeah.
hands
How
up.
many
Oh my
Republicans do you
God,
think?
clearly they don't want 1 billion Americans.
Wait,
Like,
you
come on.
realize that if we asked the average Republican, are you in favor of more or less welfare? They would all probably say less.
Right.
So that
Because,
translates to
well, it's
less
not my fault that
benefits
most
for
Americans have a
poor
misunderstanding
children.
of what taxes
Studies have
are.
shown
It's
that
not
in
statistics.
welfare states, poverty decreases after countries adopt welfare programs. Empirical evidence suggests that taxes and
Yeah,
transfers
of course it
considerably
does.
reduce poverty in most countries. Census data shows that economic security programs lifted nearly 37
Okay.
million people above the poverty line in 2018, including 7 million children.
So you're saying you're for rent control then?
I'm saying I'm in favor of certain government
Well, if
social
you care
safety
so,
nets that would better the
okay.
American people that are
So you're,
currently under the poverty line.
which would be rent control, because 80% of every single American's income goes to either rent or mortgages, which means you are effectively saying you are pro rent control,
No, I'm not.
right? Which
No,
is a welfare program which would lift most people out of poverty because
I
you
think it's
apparently care
really
about
funny
this
that you're
stuff,
like
right?
trying to get this little gotcha when you literally have proven no point this entire conversation. You told me my analogy was
Oh,
bad, and I've
yes.
literher
Ad hoc
demonstrated how
me.
bad
Ad
or how the
hom me.
analogy was actually
Yeah.
perfect.
Don't take my argument and expand on it. Instead, just say I'm a big, stupid, big
I don't
dummy
need to take your
troll.
argument and expand on it
Mhm.
because you're not making an argument. You're
I'm
saying, "Oh,
literally made an
so
argument for rent
are
control
you
because
against rent
apparently you
control
care so
then?"
much about
Ha!
social fucking
Gotcha.
welfare.
I guess you're just against rent
Yeah,
control
I
then.
did get you
Gotcha,
because
bitch.
again, you're like obsessed over the gotcha rather than the actual argument that I made,
No, it's that
which
you're
is
actually
you
not
must be
making an
pro rent
argument.
control, right? So okay, so if you're not pro rent control, then you're just as bad as these Republicans.
No, I'm not.
How?
But that's really cute that you think that.
How? Explain how, please. I'm waiting. I want like look, no, because I'm a communist. I want rent control. Hell yeah. Like
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I
yes,
don't know
I
if
want rent control.
rent
Most
control
people are
isn't
in poverty
necessarily
because of
bad,
rent.
though, right?
Because look, my parents paid $350 for a 2 bedroom, one bath in the 90s. Right now, that same place is going for $800 fucking dollars, more than double the rent in only 25 years.
Well, you have two
Okay.
issues
And
here.
you
Is
want to
that
talk about
one,
solving poverty in the United fucking States, but you're going to use this entire abortion thing
yeah, maybe
as
there
the
are better
reason to
ways to
do it?
actually solve
So
this than
nut
rent
up or shut
control.
up. Either
First of
keep pushing
Hey,
for
that's
more
really
social
rude.
policy or
He's being mean right now. Oh my
I am
goodness.
being mean.
So first of all, I don't know if rent control by itself is actually bad. It seems to make sense to limit how much a landlord can raise their rent. Now, granted, I'm not the
Yes.
best when it comes to economics, so there could be unintended consequences there that I haven't considered. But on its surface, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with rent control. I don't know why you think this is like
Okay.
a big gotcha.
Okay. Well, that's what
Also,
I
wait, did
wanted.
you say you're a
Okay.
communist?
Well, I'm a gamer accelerationist, which means I want to make sure that we can attempt to leave this solar system. I want to progress
That's
fast
okay.
enough.
Enough of this bullshit, dude. So, again, you claimed that Republicans actually do care about kids, but all the ways that they vote proves otherwise.
Well, I think Republicans are more communist than liberals.
Oh,
I
wow.
think
Okay, yeah,
that,
sure. I mean, you're allowed to think that if you'd
right?
like. Clearly, you think a
Yeah.
lot of things that
Well,
are
it's
very
literally like
baseless.
what
So,
is the republic? The republic is the commune, is the
right,
people, right?
yeah, you got it, dude. On a
Right.
semantic level, they're actually the communists.
Yeah, actually, absolutely.
Do you want to make
And
an argument, or do I need to just kick you from the call already?
what I am making the argument.
You
Conservatives
said
want,
that Republicans don't or do care about kids, and I'm
yeah.
showing you that the way in which they vote proves otherwise. What is your rebuttal to this?
Okay, again, right. My rebuttal is that conservatives want more Americans. They want more
But they don't want to
Americans.
take care of the more Americans.
Okay, so they don't want to take care of them. Could also mean that they want to extract their value,
Also, this doesn't
right?
quite add up because if conservatives were in favor of more Americans, they'd probably be in favor of more immigration and also naturalizing and giving citizenship to the immigrants, so we would have
Well,
more Americans.
they want the Americans who are already here to have more
Yeah, including
children
the
to make
illegal
more
immigrants, right?
Americans.
But they don't want the illegal immigrants to be
Well,
granted
no, they want
citizenship.
legal immigrants.
So if there are 12 million people that are here currently illegally that are still stimulating our economy, why are Republicans against granting those people citizenship when that would add massively to the amount of Americans we have?
Because the amount of money that the Pentagon gets to fund the amount of men who work for these people, who pay rent from the taxes, from the quote unquote welfare they're receiving in order to enforce our border laws, is very great. So most border states are incredibly, yes, they want the money, right? They want all of the money that is given to their men who are having sex and having children, right? And paying rent for their families,
Yeah,
right?
but
They
when you say
want
they
them to
want
have the
more
money
they
that they
want more
have. This is
Americans,
why
there's contradictions there
98%
again.
of all cops vote Republican, is because they know that they're just going to keep giving more welfare to the Pentagon, right?
Who's
In
giving
order to
wait,
give
the
money to their
welfare
guy.
being given to the Pentagon. Okay, let's back up a second. You
Yeah.
said that Republicans want there to be more Americans. And I'm explaining to
Yeah.
you that why are Republicans generally not in favor of granting citizenship to 12 million people that are currently here illegally because that would result in more Americans. Why?
Again,
That doesn't
uh,
follow.
again, because they want more of their Americans. Okay,
What do
and
you
they
mean
want
by
their
their
Americans.
Americans?
people who
Are
are
white? Is
conservative,
that what you're saying?
white adjacent, white
Ah,
sympathetic, white
okay.
fetishizing.
Right,
Absolutely.
yes. I'm sure there's nobody who cares about white people that are not the color white, right?
What?
Are you at, like, I'm just wondering if you're actually this dumb. Like, not only now are you acknowledging that Republicans actually don't give a single shit about raising more Americans here, you're saying they only care about raising white Americans.
Why can't it be both? I
So
don't
I guess
understand.
Republicans don't only dislike providing better social safety nets for kids, they also are racist. Very good point, my friend.
Well, again, Amy Coney Barrett bought two black children
Why do you
from
keep bringing that
Haiti.
up? I don't care if one Republican adopted a black kid, okay? I'm talking about the way that they vote.
So you don't care how the Supreme Court justice, who is right now helping overturn Roe v. Wade, you don't care how she votes or thinks? That's kind of ignorant, buddy. Like, why would you not care about the thing that you're literally talking about? Like, and like the essence and the meat and potatoes of the thing you're talking about. Like, who is Amy Coney Barrett, right?
It's
Like,
just funny
why
that
do
you think that
Republicans
this is
love
like
Trump so much?
this is like.
Like, look,
Do you realize that I could just as easily, like, maybe I'll go get like my conservative friend and then I'll have them talk to you about how much they actually hate kids, and then I can say, look, see, conservatives actually hate kids. Gotcha. This is why we don't
well,
point to one
I would
example.
want
We look at the
them. I
voting
would want them
records.
to. I would want them to. Clarify, and they'd probably be like, they'd probably end up saying, "Well, yeah, they hate liberal kids. They hate pansy kids who are given everything they need, right? And aren't given
I
a
don't
sense of
understand how you can
survivability."
tell me and look me in the eye that it's a good thing that Republicans only want more white Americans. What's
I
the
never
ben-
said it was a good thing.
why do they want more white Americans? What's the
Well,
point of
you
that?
just said that they don't want immigrants.
They
So if they're
don't.
not
They're not generally in favor of legalizing citizens.
right, and are these people mostly white or
You mean the illegal citizens here?
yeah?
No, they're probably not all white.
So they're not Anglo. Yeah, well, there you go. I
So
mean, it
you're
is what it
again
is.
acknowledging that
Like,
they want a white country, and it's not just something that they care about actually intrinsically. They don't care about raising the rate of Americans in the country. They care about raising the rate of white Americans. That's what you're telling me right now.
well, and not just white Americans, people who also fetishize the whiteness, who want to become white, right? Like, there's plenty of people out there who, yeah, they like imagine like you're an illegal immigrant, right? You're this you're this Venezuelan chick, and you're like, okay, if I fuck a German American and then our kids fuck other German Americans, right? Like you will bleach your family tree, right? Like that's yeah, absolutely. Like that's a thing that they could want to do. Like I don't see
I mean, here's a Pew
how that
Research thing
couldn't be an
showing right here
option.
that Republicans are scoring the highest of not being sympathetic, very unsympathetic to undocumented immigrants from Pew
Yeah.
Research. So
Yeah,
again,
no, that's okay. So when
I'm just
98% of all cops, right, vote Republican, now you know why. It's because if they keep that resentment up, that becomes a market that they can then extract for value so they can pay for rent and their family. Like this is the thing that you don't understand. Like we have so many fucking security guards in this country, right? And you're like trying to say that like these same security guards who want to delete abortion, right? They want the women to be forced to term so then they can either extract value out of the child or put the child in fucking jail. Either way, they win. They're getting more money, right? Do you understand? Like this is
I
the
really
essence
don't like
of these
you're
evil
just
Republicans.
rambling at this point. And so let's go ahead and go over
Oh, I'm
let's go ahead and
rambling.
go
Oh,
over a
my
little
bad.
yeah, let's
Sorry
go
for trying to connect some dots. My
I mean,
apologies.
apparently,
I
I
I, I
honestly wouldn't
understand how a
trust you
lot
to
of you
connect
folks
dots
can't
in like
like
a connect
imagine
the
an
dot
apple in your
puzzle.
head, let alone
Dude, I wouldn't trust you to connect the dots in a connect the dot puzzle for a fucking preschooler, okay?
good
So
one,
let's go
dude.
over what actually we've
Wow.
learned today in this very
I'm an
painful
idiot.
conversation. So thank you. You are.
Wow.
First true thing you said. Good job. So
Ah,
first and
good
foremost,
one.
let's talk
Good
about what is
one.
happening here. So one, you
So
said that my
smart.
analogy was bad. You failed to demonstrate that at all, and in fact, I proved my analogy even more correct. Second of
You
all,
were so hung up on that analogy.
that's what started
Holy
the
shit.
conversation. So yeah, I'm going to bring it up again.
You were
Second of all,
so
you said
pumped up from all
actually
these
Republicans
politics,
aren't
guys.
against bettering children or anything, you know, even though now we've shown how various different policies that they all voted on would lead to negative impacts on children, and they're against abortion as well as contraceptives. So
Yeah, and you are
basically,
for rent control. We learned
throughout-
also that you are pro rent control.
so
right?
throughout this conversation, we've shown how Republicans are actively voting against any kind of policy that would better the life of children or lower income individuals, while simultaneously pushing against abortion so that more kids can be born but yet live in poorer outcomes and poorer environments. That's what we've
Again,
learned today. And then we
yes,
heard you kind of
because they can
rambling like a
extract
fucking
their
moron
value.
in the background.
Because you can extract their value, right? Yes.
I'm extracting your
When you
value
have
for
those
content at
children, you
this
can
point.
extract their value.
I'm
sorry.
honestly
is there no
extracting
value
your
to be extracted?
No,
from
I'm
children?
extracting your value for content right now. But either way, thank you very much
True.
for showing that you're not charmhole, you're fucking asshole. All right, see ya. We'll end with a Joker laugh right there. Jesus. And I also never made a firm stance on rent control. You guys are right. I just said like based on what I'm seeing from the surface level, it doesn't seem like a bad thing, but okay. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you get notified when I drop a new video.